Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the barn here at Southern Virginia University. I'm Jim Bresnahan. I'm joined by Art Furler. We're ready to bring you the final home match of this initial 2017 volleyball season for the men's volleyball team here at Southern Virginia University as they get ready to host James Madison. Again, Art, it's the final home match of this initial season for men's volleyball here at Southern Virginia. What a season it's been so far.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it seems to have gone by so quickly. We started out just so strong with this program, so much excitement for it, and they have absolutely delivered game in, game out, all season long. It's hard to believe it's already come down to the last match.
18-5, undefeated at home in 5 matches, hoping to make it 6 in a row. Again, it's the final home match of the 2017 season. The Knights are hoping to get their 19th win. After this, next Tuesday, play at Bluefield, a team they dominated just a few weeks ago. So who knows, maybe by the end of this month they might actually have 20 wins.
Yeah, entirely possible. They've got the talent to do it, coming off a very, very impressive win streak that was snapped when they visited King College in Tennessee. Absolutely no slouches there, no shame in losing to an opponent like that. So it really is interesting to see. I don't think we've seen their cap yet. They'll certainly put at least one or two more in the barn, and then there's still hope out there for the NCAA tournament. We'll see what happens.
Even if they don't make the tournament, even if they don't get an at-large spot, then maybe their tournament, their postseason, or their playoff game, if you really want to put it that way, might be April the 8th when they take on Marymount. It's a chance for them to make a statement, even if they don't make the postseason.
Absolutely. They've made a lot of noise already so far this season, and a win over a team like that would do even more to cement the success of this first year and really put them
taking on a James Madison team tonight that is 9-7 on this season. Not sure if the Liberty Club team they played was the same one the Knights played. If so, they lost 2 out of 3 sets to that Liberty Club. So perhaps if that's the common opponent, that's good news for the Knights. We'll see how they come out here in set number 1.
Yeah, Liberty, last time they were here, gave them a little bit of a scare. Right. The Knights dominated early. It looked like they were going to put them away, but they hung around. So I'm sure the Knights will want to be decisive this evening. No matter what the caliber of this opponent, they're going to want to make sure to put their foot on the gas early and drive all the way through the finish line. Yeah,
the Knights last Friday able to bounce back from that loss to King the Friday before by winning at Pfeiffer's. So the Knights come in today 18-5 overall. They're 5-0 at home, 6-3 on the road, 7-2 on neutral courts, facing a JMU team tonight that is 9-7 on the season. And again, the Knights really have a balanced approach this season, although if you have to pick out one individual who's been leading the way in a lot of categories, including kills, that would be Cougar Clark.
Yeah, absolutely. Cougar's been so instrumental to the success of this team, but at the same time, this is not a one-dimensional team. So many guys contributing so many different ways. You can certainly point out Cougar, but you can also point out Ina. You can also point out Yusevich. You can point out Cameron. There's so many contributors on this team, it's impossible to name them all.
Yeah, Ina is second on the team in kills. Right behind him is Alma Ray, third, then Kobe Wilson for fourth on the team for kills. So we're ready to go here in set 1. And a good crowd filtering in here for the final home match of this initial season for men's volleyball, and we are underway.
And right off the bat, Clark goes a little wide. It's the opportunity for the Knights. They had a fairly soft hit over, but aiming just a little to the outside, and smart play by JMU to stay away from it.
And so JMU is on the board first.
Soft over the net. Good dig out by the Knights.
And here's Cougar again.
It's Tagaloa getting under it. Just over. Look out. Oh.
Double hit. Let's see. Nope. Goes over. The point goes to the Knights.
Yeah.
Somebody maybe got into the net.
Yeah, it looks like there was a little bit of luff in the net that time. Likely what it is. There's not too much that you can be called for when you're on the opposite side of the ball.
Mitch Yusevich also checks in for the Knights. And there's a miss hit by JMU to give the Knights a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, Colby's relatively soft serve there. Still giving fits for JMU.
Well, I think you brought this up before, Art. You can put some spin on that serve, and that can really make it difficult for returns.
Oh, absolutely. And you can mix it up whether you have, if you're expecting spin and it doesn't come, or you're not and it does. So many things, not only tracking where the ball comes, where it's coming from, but the speed, the angle, the spin. So many different factors you can involve in that to make it complicated to return. Oh!
There's Yusevic.
Yeah, Knights taking advantage of that short set early. It can really throw off the timing of a defender if you're expecting it to be a traditional high set, especially early on before you really get into a groove here. The Knights abusing.
Yeah, he's a 6-foot senior out of Virginia Beach, and he put that one away there authoritatively.
Yeah, it was a beautiful set for him. Off to the corner, the Knights defense trying to slide over, but unable to adjust in time. The Knights coming out swinging, and that's something we've seen a lot from them this season. Hard hitting, they'll start out really kind of drive that ball home until the other team gets in the way and starts getting blocks. Then they'll play to the soft game and they'll mix it up a little bit, but until you force them to do so, they are perfectly happy to just ram that ball down your throat. And a couple of, very uncharacteristic of him, especially with 2 in a row this early in the set.
So Luke Farina, freshman out of Richmond, will serve now for the JMU Dukes in a 4-4 game here in this first set.
Dug that one out. The Knights not in a great position, but good enough.
Another good kill by Alma Ray, a freshman out of Eagle Mountain, Utah.
Yeah, making the best of a bad situation. The first hit wasn't great. The second hit was a little better, but it certainly put him in a good enough position to close out the point. Oh, little miscommunication that time. It looked like Farina was trying to tip over for a finish by Bennett, but Bennett not expecting it. A lot of power coming out of Yusevic.
Good block, Colby Wilson, it looked like.
Yeah, either into Colby. It sounded, that slap sound also means can mean it hit the top of the tape. So helped out by that as well.
The Knights have a 3-point lead now.
Boy, Yusevic throughout this season as well has put on some weight in a good way.
Oh, a great effort there by Kaipo to
tell he's really gotten in playing shape, and he's come on so strong as this season has worn on.
There's a few like that. I always thought that Paul Canlin had really stepped it up in the second half of the season as that service is long.
Very true. Ballinger pretty far off the mark that time. Ball floated on him both outside and long. Oh!
Definite mishit there.
Yeah, it looked like, I'm not sure if Ray was changing his mind where he was aiming in the air, but very short on that.
Good chance. Well, we've got a few seconds here to update on other scores today. Baseball losing their game on the road at Mary Washington 11-6, and men's lacrosse losing for the first time in the conference, losing at CNU today 19-12. Still the men's lacrosse team 2-1 in conference play.
Yeah, great start for them. Be interesting to see.
Right there.
Yeah, yes it is. Jason Lamb will no doubt have his team ready to go on that one. Wow, great adjustment to barely get a piece of that. It does go over. Opportunity back to JMU. Great block. Still alive.
See if Knights could take advantage of the disruption on the JMU side. They did.
Yeah, and that's one of those places, nothing against a club team. These guys are very talented, but that's where you can really tell the experience of having a dedicated out of system. How quickly can you get back into it? In that case, the Knights able to do so a little bit faster, and the point is the result.
Knights have misfired on a few services. As a result, JMU climbs a little closer.
Yeah, that's, I think, close to, if not half of JMU's points have been on service errors from the Knights. Not something they're excited about, I'm sure. Want to clean that up.
Jack Ward, a sophomore from Richmond, Virginia, will now serve for JMU.
Getting things squared away with the scorer's table. Make sure everyone's on the same page. Good first hit. Oh, a little miscommunication by the Knights this time. Ray able to get it over. Good block at the net. Colby and Cougar teaming up, but
ball went out,
yeah.
So the point goes to JMU.
It's all about just turning those hands in a bit, getting that deflection where, not just blocked, but where you need it to go.
Well, JMU on a bit of a run here. I believe that's 3 points in a row for them.
Yes, it is. Starting, as we mentioned, with that service error. Jack Ward still serving.
Got a mishit there by Ina,
Like
but not a
Cougar.
mishit by Cougar Clark.
Yeah, and that's the goal. Every hit, if you can get it a little bit better, because that first hit, obviously, it's not coming from a friend. It's coming from across the net, so it can be difficult to deal with. So you try to make it a little better for the next guy, so that by hit 3, you're in a really good situation. Oh, and that overpass, but blocked. And this is where, as I said, the Knights start out really hitting hard until the other team shows that they can block it.
Timeout is taken by James Madison as they have dropped a couple of points.
Yeah, trying to hang on to some of that momentum shift that came from that 3-point run.
Lose Washington, but the Knights right now in the cap land on the top 6 for the postseason conference.
Reserving that opportunity for later on in the season, so that obviously you want to get as high as you possibly can, but that top 6 really is that first tier goal, just to make sure that you stay alive, just survive in advance.
And men's lacrosse, we mentioned, losing at Christopher Newport today, 19-12. But they've already played now in their 3 conference games, all road games. So they've got a lot of home games, including that one we mentioned Saturday at 1 o'clock against Salisbury. A lot of home games on the schedule in the remaining few weeks of the season for Jason Lamb and the men's lacrosse team. That's got to bode well for them.
Yeah, schedules can be funny that way. You can look at it and see, okay, 2-1's a pretty good start, but especially it's all about, well, what opponents have you played, who do you have left,
right.
And certainly that those road versus home can make a very significant difference in the outcome of games.
And while the men up on Thursday winning gains another point to climb to within 1 here at 12-11 now.
Yeah, kind of odd that time. A soft touch looked like it was a high set, so I'm not sure it intentionally went where it went, but it doesn't matter. It finds the floor, and that's the point.
Right.
More to the finesse, more to looking where they can find holes. Put something over on 2. Put something, rather than hammering it, play around the defense.
Make it 12-11. Yusevich able to almost get the point, and JMU scores it instead.
Yeah, the Knights still trying to power through that. Not sure that's going to be the best plan for them as they move forward in this set. Oh.
Knights able to save that one. Cougar Clark with a great play there.
Still alive, but no longer. And quite the run now by JMU. An effective timeout when they went down 12-9, I believe it was, and have rattled off 4 in a row.
And 7 of the last 9.
John Whiteman serving for them and is able to break his own service. Benefit to the Knights there for sure.
Well, the Knights have had a few service errors, so we'll see if they can take advantage of the JMU service error.
Soft touch, Tuki Moyatu underneath it. Blocked
Nice
at the
block.
net. And nobody getting up at that time. Yusevich free home, but still dug out.
Great point.
Yeah. Longest play of the night so far, still alive. Ray block, still
Saved by
alive.
the Knights. Oh, what a point.
Worth the cost of admission on that
That
point.
might have been actually the best point of the season.
May
by
very
both
well
teams.
have. May very well have. Certainly one of the longest. Both teams committing a lot to that. Mishandled again a little bit. It does go long, and the point sticks to the Knights.
Well, let's see if that point took a little something out of JMU.
Yeah, Ina traced that one out, staring down the line, backs off of it smartly to get the point.
Good serve there.
Relatively good chance for the Knights. And
Yep.
a double hit. It is indeed. These errors really starting to crop up a lot.
If nothing else, it is really keeping JMU close. You're talking about maybe 3 or 4 points.
Yeah, and not something the Knights want to do. Again, you want to get, and an ace there.
How did that serve make it over the net?
Yeah, it crossed over and just sunk. And we're tied at 15 again.
Critical part now of set number 1.
And Cougar again just getting blocked. The Knights have got to start going for some. JMU is all over them. So that's what I'm talking about. You can do that short set, or you go on 2. There's ways you can mix it up. But they can't rely on their power to just play directly through JMU. It has not been working for them so far.
Now, see, the last time Cougar served, he had an error. Service error. We'll see if maybe he can rack up an ace here. He leads the team in aces. But another error.
Yeah, you can tell he's not happy with himself. A little bit of a
first error went long. That one obviously into the net.
Yeah, and between errors, he's had several blocked. He's I don't think Cougar's in very good headspace right now.
See if the Knights can respond here. Now down by 1.
And a little high. It's going to be off the ceiling. Still playable, of course. And it's blocked out of bounds. Smart play that time by Ray. Yeah, the Knights have got to find some way to mix it up a little bit, though.
Yusevich catching part of the net on his serve.
Good block. Colby and Alma connecting for that one.
Alma Ray with the kill.
Hey, I'm thrilled that the Knights are making liars out of me, continuing to, as long as it works, they're powering it home and pulling it off. But
still a ways to go to get to 25.
It is indeed. And that one, point over to JMU. So wipe the score. It's 0-0, and it's just a race to 7 win by 2.
Well, we've seen the Liberty Club team, seen the Tech Club team, and this JMU Club team. Obviously, it's early art, but this might be the most talented of the 3.
It may very well be. The Knights are doing a little bit to help them out, but certainly JMU's doing a lot as well. And just it looked like it was going to spin and drop the other way, but it did. It did not. Very fortuitous that time.
JMU, I don't believe, has ever led by 2. They got a chance here.
Nice back set. Nice push by Clark. And push back, Ina.
Alma Ray. Double hit on Alma Ray, I think, is the call at least.
Oh, it's a lift. Yep.
Lift.
Clean underneath.
Timeout taken now by Coach Peterson. He wants to talk it over with his team for the first time in this first set, down by 2 now, 20-18.
Yeah, and the Knights have really just looked out of sorts today. Lots of things we're not used to seeing, especially not this late in the season. Some service errors, but really just getting out of system. They haven't been communicating particularly well with each other. There's been several things that have just are not indicative of this team. They're not gelling particularly well, and that's been their hallmark throughout this season. So they're going to have to pull it together at least to win this match. It'd be great if they could pull it off early enough to win this set and put them in a good situation.
Yeah, I mean, at least in the home games we've seen, they've been a fast-starting team, and that has not been the case tonight, obviously, in this first set. They haven't played badly, per se, just nothing like we've seen in past matches.
Yeah, absolutely. Not badly, but I think badly for them, badly for the talent level they have, for the potential they have. I don't know that they're particularly happy with their performance. And again, credit to JMU who are playing good volleyball, who are doing what they need to do to win. But I think this is probably equal parts JMU playing well and Southern Virginia playing poorly.
It would speak well, though, for the Knights if they could somehow pull out this first set, despite not having played one of their better sets of the season. We'll see if they can still do that coming out of this timeout.
And here's where we see if it was a good timeout. Can you get that first point? So far, the Knights kind of on the offensive. Pushed over. Colby deflected out of bounds. The Knights will get it. I don't remember the last time we have been in this building, Jim, and seen a timeout taken that was not that did not end in the other team getting the point.
Very rarely. I'd say almost 90% of the time.
Very true.
Soft serve there by the Knights. And no stopping that kill shot.
And tied at 20 apiece. Now wipe the score again. We wiped it at 15, and it was a race to 10. We wiped at 18. It's a race to 7. Now at 20.
And Almaray was the serve there for the Knights. And now JMU's got the lead back.
Yeah, just back and forth, point for point. Nobody really able to assert their will. The Knights did have the early lead. Things were going well, but have never really had a substantial lead in this set.
21-21 with Ina's kill. Yeah, I think the biggest lead maybe was 10-6 the Knights.
Yep, I think 4 was it, and that was brief.
Just 1 or 2 here for JMU, and I'm not sure if they've gotten a 2-point lead. Yeah, they have gotten
they did 2 for the timeout. Yep. Tagaloa serve may have gone long, but is fielded.
Great block by the Knights there.
And good adjustment. The team moves over. The defense slides over. And Cougar Clark, that time able to slip it in between the defender and the net at a critical time.
Critical point here, too. If the Knights can try to expand this lead a little bit, they might have a shot to get to 25 without having to go past to 25.
Yeah, they'd love to close that for sure. Kaipo now. Powerful serve. Smart call. You could hear the Knights communicating that time, just saying to back off of it. And that's going to be a timeout. JMU wants to talk it over as the Knights put a little bit of a run together. And now 2 points left to close out this first set.
And we'll see if that timeout theory for JMU's purposes works out to their advantage.
Hey, caster curses sometimes are bad things. In this case, it'd be a great thing. I'd love to have that snapped.
This would be a nice way to grab the first set in this match, despite maybe not having played, obviously, one of their better sets of the season, to still come out victorious.
Yeah, that can do a lot for you in a second set as well. If you come out in the first one, you get scared a little bit, but you're able to pull off the win. That can sometimes be enough to reset, get your mind right, and come out stronger in the second and close out.
The Knights have not had too many service aces in this first set. They'd love to get one here with a 2-point lead. And if they could, then suddenly we'd be looking at set point.
Yeah, and the Knights also, haven't they've relied heavily on Cougar Clark to get points when they've needed them throughout the season, and he's not had a particularly good first set, so it'll be interesting to see. Again, the Knights certainly lots of capable folks out there. It'll be interesting to see who is able to come away with some points for them when they need them now. Kaipo again.
Good strong
overpass.
Serve. And the Knights get the point, so we're looking at set point here.
And the caster curse rings true again.
Well, we did say 90%.
Yeah, the timeout taken by JMU, but the point over the Knights, and now we're looking for set point, which would be a strong closeout if they're able to do it. Kaipo Tagaloa.
Good strong serve there, nice and low. And
that'll
do it.
Wow, what an impressive finish for the Knights that time.
Let's see, that was a 7-1 run?
I think it was. It was, we were tied at 20.
And they actually had a 20-18 lead, I think.
Yeah.
And the Knights took that timeout, and after Coach Peterson's timeout, the Knights go on a 7-1 run and actually pull away at the end for a 25-21 victory.
Yeah, so that's huge to pull it off to win the first set, considering how far they were down. Now the question is, what does that do for set number 2? Does it give them is it more that they focus on the beginning and, wow, we were kind of in a rough spot there, and do they get a hangover from that? Or is it more of a reset? We were in a tough spot, but we closed it out, we did what we need to, and now it's just foot on the gas and all go.
Then we'll keep it right here. We'll have our break in between set 2 and set 3, but the Knights have to be feeling pretty good maybe not feeling all that great about the way they played for the entire set, but feeling good that they got that one in the win column. As far as the sets are concerned, JMU played pretty well, able to return a lot of the things the Knights were trying to do, but yet they still lost.
Yeah, it's really who can take more from that first set. I think stylistically, both teams, it's so late in the season, they know what they're getting into. They know what to expect from the other team, so there's not going to be a whole lot that's going to do for you. Really, it's do the Knights take more from winning the set, or does JMU take more from, hey, we came into a building of a tough team and held our own. They had a very respectable result in the first time. Does that help build their confidence? Because one of the most dangerous things you can give an opponent, especially in your gym, is confidence.
You know, we maybe get this answered in any postgame interviews we might end up doing, but you wonder if that's on the minds of the players tonight, just slightly perhaps, and Coach Peterson too, that, hey, this is our final time before the home crowd this season. Let's really do well.
Yeah, I think that's in there, especially since this team, as we've mentioned before, have had so many road games, some long-distance road games. This is a pretty rare occurrence for them to get to play at home. And now, as you mentioned, this late in the season, maybe a little extra onto it. And also, I think there's some extra pressure from saying, look, we dropped to King College. Again, a very understandable win. But I think that there was talk that these guys wanted to close out the season without a loss. Once they started that streak, they have. So there may be some of that as well to say, look, we home, away, I don't care. We missed one. We're not losing another one.
Yeah, I'm thinking right now, after this and after Bluefield on Tuesday, they only have 3 more matches left.
Yeah, and so not too many opportunities to make a statement. And also, is it in their mind? Do we have to close out? Is the NCAA tournament still on the table for them?
Yeah. If it is, and you can close that, especially by closing it out with a victory over Marymount, boy, it's hard to imagine them getting turned down after that.
It is,
But those things happen.
Yeah, they do. And so they're things that you're in control of.
Hard for us to imagine.
Yeah. They're things that you're in control of and things that you're not. And obviously getting an at-large bid like that is certainly not in your control, but what is in your control is your resume. And so they want to do everything that they can to make that as attractive as possible for the decision-making body to say, look, to make it hard for them to turn it down, just as you mentioned.
So what do you expect the Knights to do maybe differently here in set number 2? Anything really stand out?
I think they need to have more fun. I think they need to be positive. I think they need to just relax a little bit. It seemed like they came out a little tense. Yeah. Some points that they scored early didn't really seem to excite them. Maybe
mistakes. They want to go 5 sets because it's their last time at home.
Yeah, maybe
they want to extend it a little bit.
Yeah, and take set 5 to 30 or 40 points, right? I tend to doubt that's what's going on.
I don't know. Kruger Clark's face right there when we were saying that didn't look like he would agree.
Yeah, no, I think right now it's all about mentality. It's all about attitude. It's all about what they can do, to just get their spirits up, get excited. And typically, I think one of the front runners in the team for that is Cougar, and he's just not had. Even the look on his face, he does not look like he's having fun. He looks like he's serious. He looks like he's focused. Those are good things, but you got to have some fun too.
Kind of looks like he's studying for an exam.
Yeah, a little bit. Tagaloa starting off right where he left off at the end of the first set.
And the Knights will hope to carry over that hot streak that ended the first set right into the second set.
Yeah, the Knights will pick up where they left off as well, scoring points. Tagaloa again, so this is, again, going back to last set, I believe his 6th serve in a row, maybe his 7th. Into the ceiling just slightly. Oh, great diving save that time after a miscommunication, and point over to the Knights. And Tagaloa just continuing, making a living back there from the service line. And that one goes into the net, ending a very, very long streak.
Still, the Knights getting 2 of the first 3 points here in set number 2 after winning the first set 25-21.
Oh, soft touch by Colby. Does come back over. Oh, and just not quite able to get underneath that. Cameron diving to the deck. Haven't seen Cameron as much this season in libero. It's been really Tuka Moriatu who's shouldered a lot of that duty. But coming in now, Colby again on the quick set. Cougar with a really high set. And see, that's a good play, too. That's Ray playing off the sides of the defender. You don't have to go through them. You don't even have to try to hit it and roll down to get the play off the net. If you can just get it off the side of the hands, that's just as good and sometimes better, as it was here.
Wilson will serve. Mitch Yusevich back in at the front line.
Yeah, and that one just too hot to handle. Tagaloa able to get a piece of it, but unable to keep it playable. Livestock having a little bit of a conversation with John Whiteman.
Yep.
Not sure if that was. We'll give the cows half credit for the service error
that was
that
a mascot
time.
point right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Aina now. And short serve this time.
Oh, he's going to reach that one. Well, JMU's had some nice kills tonight.
Yeah, they really have. The Knights front line typically really, really good defensively, but really being strung out as they're drifting left to right. It's a lot of that inconsistency coming from JMU that's throwing the Knights off. Cougar gets underneath it. And a double hit.
Yeah, double hit against the Knights. And now JMU on top here, 5-4.
Yeah, their first lead. Still anybody's match, obviously, this early on, but it's been still very back and forth. Ray with authority.
Alma Ray might be the most dominant, most consistent player so far tonight, at least, for the Knights.
Yeah, tonight I think you're right. And it's interesting. They're not, they really haven't even been setting for Cougar anymore. Not sure what's going on there, but he's yet to serve, to have a serve that hasn't been an error. There's a good one. Almost an ace as well. It will afford them an easy touch.
Cougar too long again. Nope.
Keeps it in bounds,
Yep.
and if you're JMU, that should be very, very scary because first Cougar gets a very good serve that sets up an easy return for him to get his first point. If he starts heating up, this could be blown wide open.
See if the Knights can put a few points together now.
Kisses the net and the ace. Still not a smile on his face, but he's definitely warming up.
I don't see too many smiles on his face when he's at his peak.
Well, not when he's hitting the ball, but in between, he tends to do okay.
So the Knights have, I believe, 3 points in a row.
And another ace.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cougar Clark all business right now. Sorry, Ina's smiling enough for all of them.
I don't think he does anything but smile, does he?
No, I think he grunts every once in a while.
4 points in a row for the Knights. Another strong
Off the
serve.
ceiling, and that's another one. So for those of you at home
Which
who are
we have not seen that very often this season.
absolutely, that's why I'm explaining. For those who are at home, if you're unfamiliar with the rule, you can play it off the ceiling on your own side. But if it goes off the ceiling and then over the net, the point goes to the other team. And a timeout taken now after 5 in a row by Southern Virginia, led by Cougar Clark.
Interesting time out there with the Knights on a roll.
Yeah. Was that taken by the Knights?
I want to guess JMU. But
Oh, yeah. Yeah, not if it's JMU, that's not surprising at all because
Yeah.
the Knights certainly mounting a roll. This starting to get out of hand.
They've got timeouts to burn, obviously, and as you mentioned, it's still relatively early in the second set. But then again, nobody has led by more than 4, I think, in the entire match so far. So it's a critical early stage, let's say, for set number 2.
Yeah, and 5 in a row, especially with 2 service aces like that, things are getting bad pretty quickly. So if nothing else, even if you've got nothing to say, take the time, try to break the momentum. Cougar is a very streaky player, so the thing is it's been difficult to kind of tell that throughout the season. It just seems like he's an amazing player, which he is, but when he does well, he does really well. When he does poorly, that tends to come in spurts as well.
Let's see how he deals with this timeout, this little break in action.
Yeah, after he may appreciate it after having served so many times in a row, but my suspicion, right back to business. Oh. And it is the service error, so the smart timeout by JMU. It does what it needed to do, which is break that streak. So now we'll see if that was enough of a streak to get Cougars' head back in the game.
JMU's not had too many service errors themselves. Yusevich.
Yeah, that hard shot from the side as well. You can tell even as his hand was coming down, just that slight kick out, get it off the hands of the defender where you need it to. That hard spin, there's no way that's being returned.
Yeah, the Knights will now bring in for the first time tonight the 6'10" Avery Nigerian out of Salt Lake City, Utah. He's a freshman. Tallest player on the Knights at 6'10".
Yeah, it was fascinating as we were meeting on campus at the athletics meeting this week, talking about, what are we doing for senior night for volleyball? And Coach Peterson goes, I don't have any seniors. And everyone's like, wait, what? I don't have any seniors.
Not even any juniors.
Yeah, really a dominant program.
Actually, they've got Jordan Cameron listed as a senior.
Yeah, I thought Yusevich was a junior as well.
Yeah. He is. He's a junior. Yes.
But yeah, they're saying, it's such a dominant program this year, and there's not even a senior on the roster.
Yeah, there is Nigerian with the kill.
Yeah, soft touch there. It would have been really easy to kind of airmail that a little bit, land out of bounds, but did not do so.
So if you count that 7-1 run in the first set, it is a 19-7 run here by the Knights in the last couple of sets.
And over in 1, look out. Oh,
whoa,
smart play.
Clark. How do you teach that?
Oh, smiling or not, he's having fun now. He just looked over at Coach Peterson and did a little eyebrow raise. Either that or it was meant for us. I bet it was meant for a coach. But he's having fun now.
Yusevich with the error gives it over to JMU, although JMU here now down by 6.
I think that was the Division III first-year program equivalent of the Michael Jordan shrug. Just got the point, just kind of, yeah, of course. Sometimes you're just that good. Sent very long. Smart play to keep away from it by the Knights. And now the lead is ballooned 14-7.
And if you're JMU, the way the Knights have been playing here in the second set, you can't make errors like that.
Oh, absolutely not. The trend has definitely been in the Knights' favor. They're getting better. They're getting stronger. They're cleaning up a lot of those little mistakes that JMU is able to exploit in the first. And this is where they start looking more like that juggernaut they've been the rest of the season. And it's all of a sudden you start looking at it and saying, where are the weaknesses? Where are the holes we're going to try to find points in? And that's not one of them. Try to play
right back at serve again.
Yep, tried to play over the top of the block, and another timeout. Can you blame them? 15-7.
Let's see, the last timeout it was 9-5, and since that timeout by JMU, they were outscored 6-2.
Yeah, double the lead again. What do you do? I think this is the squad that JMU is expecting, having looked at the record and everything else. And they may have came in the first set and said, I don't know who else they've been playing, but these guys are not all that. And really hung tight with them in the first. But I think now reality's setting in a little bit for both squads. The Knights saying, hey, look, we're better than this. And JMU saying, oh, crud, they're better than this.
Well, when we hopefully get Coach Peterson on in the postgame, he'll tell us what he'll maybe said to the team during that timeout when they were down 20-18 in the first set, because since then, 22-8, I think, is the total point run here.
Yeah, pivotal moment in that set, pivotal moment in the match. Unless JMU is able to do something here pretty quickly, the second set is pretty much done for. And then the question is, how do you react into set 3?
Not just can you win 3 sets in a row, but can you win set 3?
Yeah, can you keep it respectable?
Yeah.
But there is still a lot left to be played here, but the JMU would have to flip the script here pretty quickly on a very strong-looking Southern Virginia
I'm thinking,
squad.
was it the last Liberty match where the Knights got off to a great start in one of those sets where they actually had led 8-0, 9-0, and gave up that lead?
Yeah, it was the third set. It was the closeout set, so we've seen it happen before.
All right, too long on that one.
So it's definitely not outside the realm of possibility.
Although the question right now for JMU is can they go on a 3 or 4 or 5 point run?
Right, side-out volleyball favors the Knights heavily right now. JMU's going to have to get some kind of string together.
So a double hit on the Knights. Yep.
There's 2 points consecutively right there. And a lead of 8 cut to a lead of 6 quite quickly. Oh, and a smart attempt there. Good thought by Tagaloa.
But suddenly a 3-point run here by JMU.
Yeah, that answers the question if they're able to string some together. Absolutely they are. Colby Wilson. Oh, hero play.
Cougar Clark tries it.
And he's got a smile on his face after that one.
Timeout now taken by the Knights.
Yeah.
So the Knights see JMU go on a 4-point run after the Knights had a 15-7 lead and seemed to be in total command. And now JMU has battled back to within 4, so that answers the question about whether JMU is capable of going on a run that will get him right back into the set.
Yeah, absolutely. The first set demonstrated that they had the opportunity or the ability to hang. It's just a question of can you do it in enough time. Now it's a race because rushing to 25 like that, you're on a clock and you've got to get some of these 2, 3, 4 to 1 stretches consecutively. Otherwise, you're just going to run out of time by the time you hit 25.
And JMU has to find a way to make sure in the second set at least that the Knights don't go on a 2, 3, 4-point run.
Yeah, and that's the hard part is it's not only improving your own situation, but making sure the other team doesn't match you. Such a difficult situation when you're down that far, but they're certainly on the right path. Able to close out several points quickly.
See if that Knights timeout makes a difference like it did in the timeout taken in the first set.
Does clear the net at least.
Aina with a great play.
Soft touch.
Soft touch, good recognition.
Yeah, and that's that finesse that we were talking about. They just have to mix it up. If you become predictable, you become easily defended. Got to keep them guessing. Tagaloa put the service run together at the end of the first set to close out, but coming off with an error there.
Knights have had service errors in their last 2 serves.
Yeah, now it's become a little more side out. Kisses the net, but does go over. Clark finds the floor. And again,
Clark's game has radically changed since maybe the first half of the first set.
Yeah, it really has. He had a rough start, a couple of service errors, a couple of blocks, and those are going to happen from time to time, and they don't typically affect him. It's when you get several of them in a row like that, it can mess with your head.
Wow, mistake there by JMU. And the Knights are able to get 2 critical points in a row.
Yeah, stretch back to 6. And as we mentioned, it was that side out back and forth before that just favors the Knights. When you go 1-1, 2 or 3 points in a row, then all of a sudden you just get closer and closer to 25.
Good block by Yusevic.
Yeah,
JMU earned that point.
Yeah, Luke Farina able to find find it for the Dukes. Now down to 5. Knights still nursing this lead. Cougar, plays into the hands of the defender who practically caught that one.
Yusevic with another block.
Oh, great adjustment. Yusevic the block and then coming back on it.
Oh!
Ina, I believe, with the point that time.
It was, Ina.
At an important time.
Both Ina and Alma Ray making some big plays here in the second set.
Well, this is where those early runs can be so helpful for you because you take away that lead the Knights had, and it's just been back and forth. It's a point one way, a point the other. And now that 25 total works in your favor.
Oh, Ina with a great dig.
Yusevic, boy, so impressive. He just barely hopped and was able to crank his arm down for that one. Good rotation, good speed. Now the lead is 7.
And here comes Paul Canlin in to replace Cougar Clark. So Paul will get a chance here to do some damage. He's another freshman out of Carlisle, Pennsylvania.
Plays off the net. Boy, you made the point. Does Ina do anything else? No, he just got hit in the face with a volleyball. He's still smiling. He's still smiling. Of course, it's a lot easier to do that when you're up 6.
A plus 6 as opposed to -6.
Yeah. But still, it comes right back and makes the first touch there.
Nice set there. Great set by the Knights.
Yeah, skying one-handed one. Kaipo brings so much to this team.
And so now the Knights have a 7-point lead. Almost as big as that 8-point lead they had when JMU seemed to be in real trouble.
Looks like they switched that point. It's 20 to 15 now.
20 to 15, not 20 to 16. So it is a 4-point lead for the Knights, but still only 5 points left to go.
Yeah, so now you're at the point you need 2-to-1s the whole rest of the way if you're JMU. Kevin Tripp serving for the Dukes.
Oh, error there by the Dukes, and so it's 21 to 16. Knights need 4 more points.
Yeah, just running out of time right now. If you're JMU, running out of opportunities, you got to make the most of everyone you get. And what do you get? You get Cougar Clark at the service line. Which one will it be? Will it be Cougar Clark that serves aces or the Cougar Clark that's put a few into the net tonight?
He does have 2 errors. Good strong serve there. I think Yusevic, did he get into the net?
Looks like he cleared, he reached over on that one. So, enthusiastic Knight defender. Unfortunately, point goes the other way.
Another error by the JMU team.
Yeah, and really hurting themselves at this point.
Knights will take them, though.
Yeah, we're just saying there's a limited number of opportunities left for the Dukes to make the most of. Yusevic's serve very low, very good. And that one
out by the Knights.
Played off of Colby's forehead. And the characteristic play Yusevic, it seems like he's adopted. Anytime he comes out tonight, it's via cartwheel. So just a 4-point lead, but with only 3 left that the Knights need. Oh, good shot on the run by Colby, but kept alive by the Dukes.
Set for Alma Ray.
Yep, it's back over in 1. Cougar, Kaipo. Oh, Ina, smart play. Still alive, though. Off the hands. Got to play it. Got to get it over.
Cougar Clark.
Ina does.
Oh,
blocked again. Still alive. Colby. Tagaloa.
Blocked by JMU.
Man, there have been some very long points tonight. And Al Murray tapping his chest saying, that was on me.
Yeah, I think that first point that we talked about in set 1 was better simply because the Knights won it.
Yeah, it's true. And that out. Again, the Knights only need 3, and the first of those gifted by a service error from JMU.
I think that's what, was that almost 3 service errors in a row?
Yeah.
That has allowed the Knights to maintain this 4-point spread.
Yeah, and you have to wonder if you shouldn't try to be a little more conservative and give yourself a chance. I mean, obviously it's kind of rolling the dice either way, but at least if you put a serve in bounds, you give the other team the opportunity to make the mistake.
Knights won the first set, 25-21.
Still a very, very tight margin. Aina
puts it away.
A little less tight now, 24-20.
Set point.
So now JMU needs at least 4 in a row. And that's going to bring in Quinn Skousen.
And Tegaloa will serve.
Who, unless I'm mistaken, won Mr. Congeniality in the recent Southern Virginia Student Life event. Off the net. Oh! And Monty and Alma a little disconnected that time. So there's the first.
Maybe JMU will end it here on a service error. They've had problems getting it over the last 3 times.
Well, they've got to get 3 points consecutively or it's done.
Much more conservative on that serve.
Oh, miscommunication at the net.
Miscommunication. Timeout is taken here by the Knights, 24-22, trying to make sure they get one of these next few points.
And gonna take a minute and talk it over. It's become a lot closer than it looked like it was going to be for a while.
Yeah, the Knights at times in this second set had leads up to 7 or 8 points, and even just a few seconds ago led 21-17. But JMU, despite all the service errors, been able to hang in there. Yeah,
an 8-point lead relatively late in the set, but it's really just been those 2-for-1s, those 3-for-1s that we've been talking about. JMU has been able to put together, which is why they're still alive in this set.
And we'll see what the Knights do here, trying to pick up this 25th point, hopefully in the next either this next one coming up or the one after.
Yeah, and they're going to they only need 1, but they need it here pretty quickly because 2 more consecutive points by JMU, and we're past 25, and then you're really leaving the door open. Good adjustment on time, Cougar Clark. And a good effort, we should also say that time. Colby Arrington getting underneath that for JMU is a heroic effort, but the better play that time certainly goes to Cougar, who steps up, adjusts his timing, delays, then jumps and gets just a powerful hit to end that second set.
So is it fair to say that the Knights, 25-21 in the first set, 25-22 in the second set, have survived JMU in these first 2 sets?
Oh, absolutely. They haven't dominated anybody. I think the first set, they were really, kind of up against it, and they were struggling, but they were able to pull it out. The second set, I think they had that confidence early on, they maybe just got too comfortable again, and so they gave the opportunity for JMU to come back, and they took it. And that should really concern the Knights because that's twice now that they've left the door open, and JMU has really pushed through it. So they should be very concerned going into the third set to not leave that.
What, if anything, will the Knights do differently in set 3? And, of course, that's probably the question the JMU players are asking.
Yeah, I don't know that there's a lot that they need to do differently. It's just cleaning things up a little bit. It's keeping their foot on the gas. It's realizing it seems like early on in that set they pushed more. They were smarter. They weren't overconfident. It looked like by the end, again, they were trying to power through. They were trying to get straight blocks. They weren't doing nearly as much creatively. I don't know whether they didn't feel like they have to or they got comfortable. Whatever it was, it wasn't sufficient. Maybe underestimating the other team a bit.
By the way, we mentioned at the very beginning that the Knights were 5-0 here at home. They haven't lost many sets here at home. Have they lost a set here at home?
They did to Liberty.
Yeah, right.
They had those 2 to Liberty that they lost after what looked like they were going to have a quick 3-0 closeout, but they absolutely didn't. So
before we go to break, we've got the stats. Anything really leap out at you as far as maybe the kills are concerned by the Knights? Looks like a lot of balance.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, really, there's nothing really that surprises me except I would say Cougar Clark leading the team in errors. Not something we're used to seeing. 10 errors all in all. It's not terrible for the first match. So the team's doing well, but Cougar just typically a very clean player. Not something to see, but I guess, boy, the other one that jumps out, 22 assists. Kaipo. Whew. That is 4 more than JMU has as a team. So
that's something.
Yeah, so he's been heavily involved.
Knights are on top here 2-0, winning the first set 25-21, winning the second 25-22, and hopefully in set 3 they'll close out their sixth arena. We'll take a timeout for these messages.
I felt like I didn't just want to learn how to create art, I wanted to know what to create art about. At Southern Virginia, you're exposed to great art and ideas, getting the best of basically what the whole world has to offer. Professor Himes helps me so when I do create art, it can connect with other people. I don't want to just be a good artist, I want to be a good person who is an artist. I'm Corey Egbert and I'm a knight.
High school, I never felt really pushed, and I kind of lost a love of learning. When you can have a whole semester of classes where every one of your professors, you can just say like, I have an amazing professor, but for every class, I just don't think that happens everywhere else. There's true friendships that develop here. I have good friends from another college, I have good friends from high school, but I have great friends here.
My name is Bubba Eisenhower, and I'm a knight.
You get out what you put in, or actually you get out probably more than you put in. But if you put in effort, you'll always be blessed for that.
These participants have never experienced mission life before, so they've never experienced working with a companion, teaching with a companion, eating with a companion.
Every kid is completely different, so each kid needs to progress in different ways, and they have different strengths and weaknesses when they come in.
Just being here, I've been lead from here.
I thought if you knew your doctrine, then you can teach a lesson. But the thing is, you need to invite the Spirit. Because sometimes we don't know the things that are going on in other people's life, and the Spirit tells us those things.
As you teach about the Spirit, as you learn about like the nature of the Spirit, what the Holy Ghost can do, all the different hats the Holy Ghost wears. If you come here and you want to get better and you want to improve yourself and prepare yourself to be a missionary, you're going to do that.
Welcome back to the Night Sports Arena. Jim Bresnahan back here with Art Furler, and we are getting ready for set number 3 of our match tonight, the final home match for men's volleyball here at Southern Virginia University. What a season it has been so far. The Knights are 18-5 on the season, and they're on top here of JMU. 2-0, winning the first set 25-21, 25-22 in the second set, and now just one set away from going a perfect 6-0 at home in their debut season for men's volleyball.
Yeah, I would love to see that. There have certainly been years where we've seen streaks like that in the past, obviously not from men's volleyball being their first season, but boy, we saw that from Southern Virginia men's basketball a few years back. They went several seasons without having lost a game here at home, and the fans love it, the community loves it. Obviously, anything like that's so much easier to get behind. Would love to see something like that continue. Although
that winning streak the Knights turned in, what was it, 15 straight matches, that might be one of those streaks that might stand a while for any sport as far as a consecutive winning streak.
Oh, yeah, so difficult to do that day in, day out, to not have a single bad night.
That's a season and a half for football right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very impressive to do that. At the same time, this program continues to be on the rise. We mentioned no seniors, first year. There's a lot that could go up next year, so certainly very, very difficult to do that. It may very well stand, but I wouldn't put it past these guys to not build on that and do even better.
Although, we've talked about this throughout the season, too, and joining the Continental Conference next season, obviously the schedule gets increasingly tougher.
Oh, absolutely it does. But at the same time, then it's the question, does the competition get better or do you get better more? And it could go either way.
And maybe that Marymount match coming up, I think, on April the 8th ought to be a good test.
Yeah, it could be a good indicator of things to come, certainly. No matter what, certainly a lot to be excited about for this season, which gives you a lot to be excited about for next season. And we'll just have to stay tuned and see.
Okay, and of course the Knights, after tonight, it is their final home match, but after tonight, they do have 4 more matches coming up on the schedule. Next Tuesday at Bluefield, April the 7th, and then April the 8th. And we mentioned that April the 8th match will include a match against Marymount. So it should be very interesting to end the season on, at least the regular season, on April the 8th.
Yeah, lots to happen between now and then, so it'll be very interesting to see how that shapes up.
And of a more immediate nature, the Knights are hoping to polish off JMU here in set number 3.
Yeah, you had mentioned the stats as well, looking at what we've got there. And I think the other thing that was kind of deceptive, Cougar still leading the team in kills with 8, largely based on that one streak from the service line. So despite him being a little off tonight, all in all, still having a powerful night leading the Knights there.
Yeah, he leads the team with 8 kills in the first 2 sets and also aces with 3 aces in the first 2 sets, although he also tied Tagaloa for 3 service errors.
Yeah, and the other interesting thing, only 1 service ace from JMU all night so far as Colby gets us underway.
We mentioned that softball's on that winning streak. They're playing against Penn State Harrisburg on Saturday. Women's lacrosse will be in action tomorrow against Christopher Newport on the road at Salisbury on Saturday. We also mentioned that men's lacrosse lost today at CNU. They'll be home to Salisbury coming up on Saturday. And then baseball losing today to Mary Washington. They've got a doubleheader at Salisbury on Saturday.
Yeah, so much going on now through the end of the semester. This is just high time for sports.
Of course, graduation's not that far away, I would imagine, either.
It is not. We had a meeting about that today. Our registrar, Whitney Larson, pulled out her iPad, and on it there was a ticking down clock till graduation.
Cougar Clark, left to right.
Yep, I think he had a restful break between second and third sets, and looks like he's coming out for blood. Ina now at the service line for the Knights, leading the team in digs after 2 sets. And still alive. It does get over with the roll shot.
Double on.
I'd say it's 4.
Yeah, 4, yeah. 4 is the ruling.
Yeah, it didn't actually go over. I was a little confused at first because the Knights went up to block it but never actually had to touch it. Ina now.
Good strong serve there. And the Knights are now got a 4-1 lead. And you wonder if the lead continues to build, and that's a big if, Art, but if it does, quickly in this third set. Might JMU take a timeout?
Yeah, they showed their willingness to take them early in the second set, and it paid dividends for them, so we'll have to see.
That one kind of got stuck on Almaray, and he couldn't get it off.
Yeah, then rolled down the net, and actually it looked like one of the JMU players got hit in the face. I think it was Kevin Tripp on the ball coming up from underneath the net. Unintentional, of course, but perhaps a little comedic. Good to see he's all right and serving now. There's Cougar off the top of the hands.
5-2 Knights.
Nice dive by Tripp that time to try to save it, but it was just not to be. There's a smile from Cougar. He sneaks him in there every once in a while.
Yeah, looking down the list, the Knights with their 5 wins have only lost 1 set in their 5 home match victories this year. That was the very first to Emmanuel.
Very impressive play by the Dukes to keep it alive. And
the Dukes are not going to go easily here in this third set.
Yeah, keep it alive long enough to rally for a point as well. It's going to bring in Farina and Alex Ostrom. JMU good for him off the first service error.
Yeah, JMU has had some service errors through the first 2 sets. As a team, they had 7, and the Knights had 9.
Yeah, not to be outdone, though, the Knights with 9 service errors. And that's a lot of points. That's not like throwing a ball in baseball. That's immediate translation to a point.
Yeah, double hit on the Knights.
So 9 service errors is literally giving your opponent 9 points in 2 sets. That's 20% of what they need to win. Cody Ballinger now for JMU. Trying to add a couple more points, chew into that lead, but will not happen on this occasion. Almaray.
Well, he has really been dead on some of his kills tonight.
Yeah, he's really been efficient, and he's really been able to find good, solid gaps. Not often blocked, and he knows he's very surgical with his strikes.
Good serve, too.
Oh, soft touch.
Whoa! They're going to call a double hit?
Yep.
It looked like he got it over without double, but...
Yeah, so tough in that situation. I think what happened is I think it hit his hand and then touched off his body, off his chest at a second hit. Not much you can do about that. It was a heroic effort to get it. Aina. And into the net. Point to the Knights.
So the Knights haven't been dynamite in this third set, but...
Yeah, they kind of, once again, had that strong start, and then the good answer by the Dukes. Ooh!
Now it's 9-5, and you're getting into that point. Okay, is another point or two. Maybe will the Dukes take a timeout if for no other reason, just to kind of break the momentum the Knights might still be piling up here.
Yeah, Kaipo Tagaloa has really been impressive tonight, serving. That time just knocks Cody Ballinger onto his backside. Almost does so again, but wisely stepped aside, and that'll be a point for the Dukes. Going to bring in subs again. That's Jack Ward and Brett Kirchner for the Dukes. And Ward will immediately go back to the service line. Oh,
except
nice.
for Colby Wilson.
Nice soft back touch. The first touch playing right through, and Colby Wilson seems like he's the man to go to on those short sets. They've been really effective for him tonight.
Yeah, Colby will now serve with a 4-point lead. That one just got over.
And that is wide, so it'll stay with the Knights. And they've grown the lead a bit more. Now the question is, can they continue to do so, or are they going to let the Dukes close it back in?
Well, a few more points and you get to that side out you were talking about.
Yep. Powerful hit.
Not much Alma Ray could do with that. Not able to dig it.
Yeah, he really did well slowing it down, keeping it in bounds, making it playable. Just not much his teammates could do in that situation to predict where it was going to go. So, difficult situation. That one, the service ace, just the second one so far today for the Dukes, but that one able to keep it in bounds.
So JMU with 2 straight points after falling behind by 5, and now 3 straight points.
And 2 service aces.
Who needs a timeout?
Yeah, again.
They were down 11-6 and now only trailing by 2.
Yeah, again, they've only had 1 service ace all night prior to those 2 back-to-back. Clark
when in doubt,
responds.
turn to Cougar, right?
Yep. Able to respond for Southern Virginia. Procedural, make sure we got everything above board. It's going to be Kirchner coming in for Whiteman.
And now Ina will serve.
Oh, kind of a slap shot there.
Good extension, too. Good elevation.
Yep. And that lead back to 2. The Knights have just not been able to put away JMU in any of these sets tonight. Winning them all, but dominating in none.
Well, Cougar Clark helps the Nets. The Knights will stay just ahead. 3-point lead again.
Yeah, he's particularly dangerous when he goes back to the service line after scoring a point as well. Seems like his confidence is up a little bit, and he's especially dangerous. And over in 1. Chance for the Knights. Blocked at the net. Kept alive. Ray. Oh.
Ray with a miss hit. Rare error for him tonight.
Yeah, indeed. So just keeping that lead at 2. So the question is, the Knights have kind of squeaked out those first 2 sets after things got a little close, but now going the other way a little bit. Can the Knights do it again? Oh. Smart. Kaipo Tagaloa, very small touch over in 1. And a crowd favorite now, Joel Bergman checks in.
His first appearance tonight.
Back set. And great job that time. Ray connecting with Wilson, but unable to get it where they need to. So still nursing that lead at 2. It's going to have to pull out some of the same perseverance they did in the first 2 sets. Great play off the hands of the defenders, kept alive.
Well, JMU only down by 1.
Yeah, just that little dunk over. Boy, JMU has shown a lot of fortitude tonight. They've taken some big hits and just kept coming back. Great dig out that time by Farina. Good block at the net, Ray and Wilson again. Oh!
Whoa, the Knights blocked that one.
Yeah, I think that went off of both of their heads at some point, but Tagaloa gets in front of it. And the Knights able to preserve that lead. And it seems like that's been their modus operandi tonight, is that they get a lead, and then it kind of waxes and wanes a little bit, but they typically hold on to it long enough to side out it. Keeping it exciting. Overpass, boy. Tagaloa got way up on that.
Now we're going to have the JMU timeout at 16-13.
Yeah, interesting. Just at a lead of 3. The momentum has shifted a little bit more towards the Knights, but I wouldn't say extremely so.
Would imagine if it is the same situation in around the 22-23 mark, we might see a second timeout.
Sure. Well, at that point where it's a little more critical, I guess JMU now thinking, want to try to prevent it, make a change before it gets to that point. But yeah, it really doesn't seem like it's shifted so extremely that it would warrant a timeout. But coach's prerogative.
Sounds like it's going to be also a busy weekend on campus this weekend.
Yeah, the largest open house in the history of the school, as far as we can tell. I think at last count we were at around 160 prospective students coming in, and of course you always factor them bringing some folks along with them. So we're estimating right around 500 folks here, and that's on Saturday. After Friday, we also have Congressman Goodlatte coming, speaking here at the University at Forum. So. Yeah, it's going to be a little busy, not to mention, as we mentioned earlier, the jam-packed athletic schedule. So lots going on.
Yeah, we've got softball doubleheader against Penn State Harrisburg and that men's lacrosse game against Salisbury Saturday at 1 o'clock.
Lots going on, and that down into the net. The point to Southern Virginia after the timeout, and that's a few timeouts we've seen tonight that have not paid off. Almaray sends it down the line just a little bit wide. So they should have taken the timeout 1 point later.
Still a 3-point lead.
Yep. Oh, great dive to the floor by Ina.
Toby Wilson comes right back.
Yeah. Ina, Tagaloa, and Wilson really unified on that one, doing what they need to close it out. But still just a lead of 4. And sent that just a hair long. Not quite enough topspin, a little bit more on that. As it whips along, it'll catch the air and drag it down an inch, if anything.
Well, these service errors by the Knights helping to keep JMU in this third set.
Yes, it is. Jack Ward now serving for the Dukes. Cougar able to find the floor.
Well, his game after the first part of the first set has just radically been different.
It has, and that's a difficult thing to do, to have a rough start and shake it off, but he's been able to do so. Skousen now coming back in for the Knights. Good rotation. Love to see lots of folks get in the game for the Knights. Colby, such an unorthodox serve, but boy, is it effective.
JMU trying to battle back.
Yeah, and it's all again about a little bit of a run. Side out will not win them the match. Oh, catches the net but does go over. Cougar just kind of punches it, but it's going to go wide. Now the lead down to 2.
So maybe will the Knights call a timeout if JMU gets another point?
A little bit out of sorts.
Won't have to worry about that.
We'll never know.
At least for the time being.
Sure. That's going to bring Cameron out and Tukumuiatu back in.
Rare mistake by Ina.
Yeah, just trading gifts at this point. It's like Christmas morning here. Nobody doing anything for themselves. Everybody's a little too selfless right now.
I'd still need 5 more points for a match win.
And given right back.
This is amazing.
It is. It's was that 4 in a row?
I think.
Clark now has gone both ways earlier. He's been very successful at times and has had a few go into the net.
Error.
5. I believe the count is 5 consecutive service errors.
Yeah, what the heck? Let's make it 6.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys don't want to play anymore, you could just call it right now. You don't have to.
I guess you could side out to victory.
Yeah.
Or service error your way to victory.
Yeah, it's got to be frustrating for both teams.
There's another one.
Oh, my goodness. What is going on? It's a gravitational shift going on here or something. The gravity in the building's been increased.
Will it be Quinn Skousen?
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating for
getting
both.
into it now.
But it favors the Knights. There we go. JMU, so we are still alternating points back and forth. Haven't gone too crazy away from that at least, but
Knights still need 3 more points.
yeah, the trading has favored the Knights. It's closed the gap to 25. But it hasn't been particularly pretty volleyball for anybody in the last little bit. Does get over that time. Oh, well recovered.
Sandlin will try again, and it is blocked out of bounds, and the Knights now need 2 points.
Yeah. Yeah, great job by Cantlin that time. Good to see him get in the match, and we'll go to the service line. Just 2 last points to close out the set and match. And it starts without a service error. Oh, over in 2, but a little too far back.
Oh, Tegaloa taking JMU off guard there.
He is a tricksy hobbit, Jim. He is a very tricksy hobbit.
So, match point.
Yep, very, very heady, very smart. Would love to see Cantlin, who's seen limited play this year, would love to see him close it out.
Maybe close it out right here with an ace.
No ace. And it's a player, so that is going to be over at JMU. So the Knights now have 3 chances to get 1 point before it prolongs the match.
And the Knights close it out right here. Nigerian.
Cantlin still kept alive, pushed over. Nigerian again. Another one of the longer points of the evening and into the net.
There you go.
And the Knights will round out the set and the match, now undefeated at home this season.
6-0 at home, and now 19 wins on the season, 19 match victories on the season, Art. 19-5, and again, that was their last home match, so it'll be the last time we see them here at home. But they still have 4 more matches, and they can pick up their 20th match victory of the season next Tuesday at Bluefield.
Yeah, and what a statement. We've mentioned it so many times this season, but it bears repeating. The first year this program has been on campus, and to come out with that kind of success is just, it's unheard of, and it's so, so impressive. It speaks a lot to the caliber of players that are here, certainly speaks a lot to Coach Peterson and what he's able to put together. What an asset.
And the Knights win 25-21, 25-22, 25-21. They at times kind of were flat, at times battled service error problems, and yet still able to win all 3 sets. So, again, 6-0 at home, and I believe they only lost 1 set at home this season to Emmanuel. So, again, that's a heck of a home record.
Yeah, they've been so impressive, and I think what's been most impressive to me is that consistency. It's not coming out and crushing from time to time. It's really coming out and being day in, day out, able to be that consistent. Again, especially as a first-year program, very, very difficult thing to do.
Okay, Coach Tom Peterson will be our guest here quickly on the post-game show as his team improves now to 19-5 overall on the season and a perfect 6-0 at home. Coach, first of all, congratulations on a tremendous home schedule and your victory here today.
Well, thank you. It's nice to win at home, of course, and have your fans behind you. You always want to win your last match, of course, so thank you.
Talk about maybe some critical areas of the game, like that first set. I think it was 20-18. You took a timeout, and your team really surged at the end of their first set after that.
Oh, it was all me, of course.
I know. That's why we made you the star of the game.
That's right. Of course, we made errors. That's the number one thing for us. I think that's a good team. That's a fun team to play, is what I said at halftime or whatever you call that 10-minute break. it kind of tells us who we are. And we made quite a few errors. I thought we kept them in the game, and then the second set, the third set, the only reason we stayed ahead of them is because of their missed serves. Both teams made enough errors that if we want to beat a good team, they want to beat a good team, you just can't make those errors at the end of sets, especially after timeouts. I don't know how many serves we missed after a timeout, but I think at least 3 or 4. And that's 3 or 4 too many.
Yeah, what was it, Art, in that third set? 6 straight service errors?
Yeah, alternate 3 apiece. I'm pretty sure. Have you ever seen anything like that?
Just now, I guess. Yeah, it's something, and you can't count on the other team just equaling you. And it's in fact, that's the feeling on our side. I'm a little bit worried about that. Oh, we win, and as we're making errors, now you don't get better unless somebody's really testing you. And right now, for the rest of our season, for the teams that we have upcoming, especially the last week, we have to be better than what we are, eliminating our own errors.
I think was really the essence of it's compared a lot of times. It's just a muscle memory thing, but how did you coach out of that, I guess?
Well, if I knew everything about that,
I'm sure you do. He just won't say it on
I'd
the air.
make a lot more money than what I'm doing. But, of course, you try to make as much pressure in practice as you can. You try to make it very game-like. And it means something. And so you make guys run. You make guys do a penalty if you miss here or you do something there. And you do it as much as possible. But you have to actually be in a number of matches where it is in that situation. And I'm not so sure that we're there right now. And we only have a couple. We have to have those pressure situations in our mind. The guys can't look at me ever under a pressure situation because they know what they need to do. And they know that serve is in. If they have any question in their minds, that's when you miss a serve. And I can never say, hey, don't miss your serve, because that's what they're thinking about.
Yeah. Oh, why didn't I think of that? I should have done that. So, but where do you draw the line between, I mean, clearly there's different styles of serving. It seems like sometimes they go really aggressive to try to get the ace, whereas as opposed to backing off and giving them an easier serve to return. How do you balance that?
Well, people always ask me, how can you miss so many serves? It looks like you're just lackadaisical, and it's really not. Guys, you have to serve it tough. And I say this to our guys all the time. In fact, it's like a little quiz. What's the worst thing in volleyball you can do? Miss your serve. That correlates to winning or losing. But what's the next worst thing you can do? And they give me all these answers. If I do it at a camp, well, I missing a pass or getting aced or this or that. And I say, no, it's serving an easy serve. A good team, if you're playing a good team, they're going to side out at over 90% if you serve an easy serve to them. So it's a real, a situation with the guys. You have to jump serve to make it hard. Yeah. You have to have some guys jump serve. Maybe you can have a couple of guys. Like Kobe, I think he has a very good float serve. Mm-hmm. So it's a good combination. But you have to bang a ball, and therefore it's a little bit more risk. But I think we can tolerate about 4 serves a set, missed serves a set. And if we miss less than that, it probably means we're not aggressive enough. Isn't that interesting? But if we're missing more than 4, then you're just giving points to the other team.
And that's pretty close where you were. I think you had 14 between 3 sets today, so a little more than that, but pretty close to that mark.
And it's a lot less than we did our last match. But the thing tonight that I'm not so happy about is maybe 3 or 4 of those came after timeouts. Mm-hmm.
So, Coach, 19-5 on the season. I don't know if you get this question a lot here lately, but what are the chances of this team being in the postseason, you think?
Well, we're a good team, and we don't have control. It's a committee that chooses who's going to be in the championships, who's going to be in the playoffs. We're new on the block. And I kind of know the politics of things, and it's hard to think of a new team on the block when you know all these other teams, and they're in a good conference. So a second place from another conference that may even have lost. They were the best team in regular season, but they didn't win the conference championship. Mm-hmm. Maybe they're the second place team that they're going to get a lot of consideration. So that's the only thing, is that we have to kind of go against politics, the new kid on the block, all of that stuff. But I think at the very least we should cause some noise. We should get some attention.
And if you don't make it, well, we were talking about this in the pregame, if you don't make it, then maybe Marymount becomes your playoff game.
Very, very true. Yeah, those last 3 matches, the 7th, is it the 7th and 8th?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the matches that we're pinpointing. It's the number 3 in the country, number 9 in the country,
Yep.
and if we can beat those teams on the road, a long travel, that means that's a good season for us.
Yeah, the least you want to do is make it hard for a decision-making body to keep you out.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, Coach, congratulations on a tremendous season.
Thank you for doing this, you guys. You guys are great. I get comments about the announcers all the time, so thank you.
Positive comments, I hope.
Very, very positive.
We appreciate that.
Okay, thank you.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Good luck on the road. Coach Tom Peterson right there, and Art, as he mentioned, still some work to do for the Knights. They still have 4 more matches, including next Tuesday on the road at Bluefield. But as he pointed out, those matches coming in April, especially if they don't make the postseason, those matches will be a great way to end the season with some wins.
Yeah, easy way to make a statement is to do well in that games, even if you don't win. If you put a little bit of fear into your opponent that you might win, I think that'll go a long way. But it would also be very easy to look at it and say, hey, look, we've won 75% of our games so far. We're in really good shape. We're going to cruise a little bit. You can tell that is not in Coach Peterson's mind at all. He took this team tonight very seriously. He's looking at every team moving forward very seriously. He wants to win games, and more than that, what he talked about is he kept saying, we need to get better. How are we going to get better? And that's the kind of focus that'll win you games, more than focusing on winning games will win you games.
So congratulations to the Knights for picking up their 19th win of the season tonight, and good luck for the Knights on Tuesday on the road at Bluefield. That's going to wrap things up here from the Knights Sports Arena. I'm Jim Bresnahan for Art Furler, Josh Adams, and all of our production staff here at Southern Virginia University. Thanks again for joining us tonight for men's volleyball, and have a great evening.